ask you a question? Do you believe that Iran has been the world's largest state sponsor of terror for the last... We're having a debate, so I'm asking you a question. Do you believe Iran is a state supporter?
An explanation for why it's okay to send our sons and daughters...
Because you're not prepared for this debate. Let me tell you what the objectives are.
This president
they want to work with it, but they need 7 votes here.
To fund
7
the TSA.
Votes. 7 votes.
They would be funding the TSA.
Can we just have a Senate lesson here? It takes 60 votes to do this.
What's good, everybody? Welcome back to the channel. Now, I saw this clip earlier today and I had to rewatch it because I really couldn't believe what I was seeing. Former Congresswoman Val Demings went on CNN, went out there with a whole chest ready to go off about the Iran war, Operation Epic Fury, everything, and she got absolutely checked.
Because you're not prepared for this debate.
I'm talking about checked like a homeschool assignment. Scott Jennings used one question, one basic yes or no question, and she could not answer it.
Can I ask you a question? Do you believe that Iran has been the world's largest state sponsor of terror for the last nearly 5 decades?
The president is the one, Scott, who said 9 months ago
I'm asking you.
that he
I'm asking you a question.
obliterated any capability that they had. So what is the mission now?
She started to get loud, started to talk back, started to yell. She started talking over everybody. The host had to step in and shut the whole thing down. And look, I know a lot of people are not watching CNN, or to be honest, a lot of these shows have low ratings, but this is the type of stuff that people like to watch on YouTube. Clips of just nonsense, especially bad debate performances. Val Demings, this is a former congresswoman out of Florida, a former Orlando police chief, ran for the Senate against Marco Rubio back in 2022 and lost by 16 points, by the way. And she went on national TV and sounded like she didn't really know what was going on or didn't do a single minute of prep before sitting down in that chair. Jennings didn't even have to try hard. He just asked a question, sat back, and let her unravel herself. Let's get into it. But first, I want to give you guys some advice on how to protect your online presence from all types of nefarious people waiting to steal everything from you. As a YouTuber, I spent a lot of time digging through documents, tracking fraud, and exposing corruption. And here's what I've learned. Browsing the internet without a VPN is like sending a private message to a group chat. Everyone sees your business. So what's a VPN? It's a virtual private network, basically an app that creates an encrypted tunnel for your internet connection and hides your IP address. Think about it as a secure private hallway between you and whatever website that you're visiting. No one can see what you're doing. Every time you're on a public Wi-Fi, let's say you're at the airport or some other public place, hackers on that same network can swoop in, take your passwords, your photos, everything. Your ISP is watching every site that you visit, logging your data. That's why I actually use private internet access. It's running on a laptop right now and it's running on my phone right here. They encrypt your connection, hide your IP address, and their no logs policy has been proven in court multiple times and audited by Deloitte. Over 30 million downloads. And here's the thing, they have servers in 91 countries and all 50 states, so you could change your virtual location. You may not notice, but Netflix shows different content depending on where you are. Sporting events get blacked out in certain regions. Some websites straight up block you based on location. With PIA, you can pick a server in that country and boom, you're in. You can access content from anywhere. And we have some great news. If you use my link, you'll get 83% off of private internet access. That's just $2.03 a month, plus 4 extra months completely free. Just one subscription protects unlimited devices, your phone, your laptop, your tablet, everything. 30-day money-back guarantee, 0 risk. Check out private internet access today. The link is in the description and the pinned comment above. Go lock down your connection and protect the things that matter the most.
Can I ask you a question? Do you believe that Iran has been the world's largest state sponsor of terror for the last nearly 5 decades?
The president is the one, Scott, who said 9 months ago that he obliterated any capability that they had. So what is the mission now?
I would like to engage in a debate.
I think the president...
I'd like to ask you, we're having a debate, so I'm asking you a question. Do you believe Iran is a state supporter?
An explanation for why it's okay to send our sons and daughters into a war.
So
where 13 people have died, you're sending additional ones.
Nobody's yelling right now.
Because you're not prepared for this debate. Let me tell you what the objectives are. Number one, they are the world's largest state supporter and exporter of terrorism. Number 2, they have a ballistic missile program, which we found out this past weekend can reach most of Europe. Number 3, they lie about their
Europe
nuclear.
at the table?
They lie about
Is
their.
Europe at the table?
That discovery.
Why
They
was
lie
why
about
wasn't
Europe
is at the
Europe
table.
included?
They lie about their. They
Why
lie
wasn't you? Why weren't our allies
I see
included?
now. I see now
when
why
we
you don't know
made-
the objectives because you
Why-
don't stop talking long enough to listen.
Why weren't
Number 3,
our allies
they have a navy.
included
They have a navy that
in the
harasses
war,
ships.
in the beginning, in the discussion, in the strategic
And number
plan,
4,
in the
they enrich
operational
uranium
plan.
to 60%.
Why weren't they included?
Nobody else
All
does
right,
that.
hold on a second. We've known for
Now, look, I got to be real with you guys. That was probably a clean knockout. Jennings won that exchange, and it wasn't even close. Here's why. He asked her one question. 1, do you believe Iran is a state sponsor of terror? That's a yes or no question. There is only one answer. The State Department has had Iran on the state sponsor of terrorism list since 1984. Shout out to the 84. I was born in 84. Anyone who was born in 1984, let me know in the comments below. 42 this year. Wow, I'm getting old. Anyway, over 40 years, Iran has funded Hezbollah, Hamas, many organizations, and they have been anti-American for decades. That cannot be argued. It really just can't. And she couldn't say yes, not because she doesn't believe it. She obviously does, but because in that moment, saying yes would undercut her entire argument. So instead of answering, she kept talking. She kept yelling. She tried to pivot to, well, is Europe at the table? Okay, that's a fair question in a vacuum, but you can't ask that when you haven't answered the basic question yet. He says, yelling is not an answer because you're not prepared for this debate. And then the final line, I see now that you don't follow the objectives. You don't stop talking long enough to listen. Each line hit harder than the last. The host had to step in and take a break to get things back on track. Now, here's the thing, and I want to be fair about this. Demings had a point buried in whatever the hell she was trying to say. Obviously, no one wants any service members to die. 13 have died. The mission's objectives have shifted multiple times. The administration has said it's going to be a few weeks. Now we're at a month. Who knows where the clear exit strategy is? I mean, in war, nothing is clear. But those are legitimate concerns. But she did it in a filibuster, confusing way instead of a focused argument. And when you do that against somebody like Jennings, who is a professional debater on this network, you're going to get cooked. And she got cooked. Now, I want to step back from the partisan theater for a second because there's a bigger question that neither one of them really addressed. And that is, does the American public even want to deal with this war? That answer, based on every single poll out there, is no. A poll from earlier this month that said 53% of voters oppose military action against Iran, only 40% approve. CNN's own poll had it at 59% approval. Even among people who approve these strikes, only 28% think it actually makes Iran less of a threat. And here's the one that really makes you think. A Data for Progress poll found that 56% of voters believe that this war benefits Israel more than it benefits America. Only 29% America benefits more. And that wasn't just Democrats saying that. 40% of Republicans say that the war benefits Israel more. 47%. So just talking about the Republicans, the conservatives, whatever you want to call it, it seems to be a civil war within the Republicans. Many of the conservatives like Trump, but half don't agree with this war, that Trump was convinced by Israel to fight this war. Some conservatives want America first policies.
And it's no defense of Iran. Of course, I'm not a Shiite for the record, but I think it comes with perils that people are not considering or willfully ignoring. And the main one is Iran is not Iraq, or it's not Libya. It's not isolated. It's a central player in BRICS. 90% of Iran's oil exports go to China. It just signed a defense agreement with Russia in January. It has backup. It has big allies that represent the majority of the world's population and the majority of the world's economy and landmass. So the potential for this to become something much, much bigger and unmanageable is real.
They believe this war isn't American first when they're focused on what's going on in the Middle East. So when you hear this debate on CNN or any other news networks, understand that the majority of Americans are watching this and saying, why are we doing this? We got people at home that can't afford groceries. Gas prices are going up and we're spending billions and billions of dollars. But let me know what you guys believe in the comments below. Do you believe that most Americans agree or disagree with the war? I know I did something on my community poll a couple of weeks ago, I think when the bombs started to drop, and the majority of you guys did agree with Trump. In fact, I'm going to make a poll as I finish recording this, and as I edit this tomorrow, the last point, I will put the results of the poll right here so you guys can see if there's been a difference between the first poll and the second poll. Let's go with the next clip I want to talk to you guys about because this happened on the same show. The conversation shifted to something that's affecting American lives right now.
This fiscal year, TSA has been shut down for 50% of the time, or 85 days. And if still shut down this Friday, we will have reached nearly $1 billion in missed paychecks. This level of disruption is unprecedented and unacceptable and significantly undermines the security of U.S. transportation systems. 95%, or more than 61,000 of TSA's employees must continue working without pay during a shutdown. Many in our workforce have missed bill payments, received eviction notices, had their cars repossessed and utilities shut off, lost their childcare, defaulted on loans, damaged their credit line, and drained their retirement savings. Some are sleeping in their cars, selling their blood and plasma, and taking on second jobs to make ends meet, all while being expected to perform at the highest level when in uniform to protect the traveling public. A transportation security officer at Reagan National Airport recently said, "I just want Congress to pay me for the job I am doing." We have already lost over 480 TSOs this shutdown, and our call-out rates have accelerated as our workforce was still reeling from the last shutdown.
If this president
they want to work with them, but they need
wanted
7 votes here.
to fund the TSA,
7 votes.
they would be funding the TSA.
Where
and
are
we
the 7
need
votes?
to find a
Democrats.
way to pay the most vulnerable group with the most important job at the airport, get them paid.
Can we just have a Senate lesson here? It takes 60 votes to do this. There are 53 Republicans.
Forbade that.
I know, but that's because it obliterates her argument.
That's why you're for reconciliation, not filibuster.
Now, this is the part that really matters to a lot of people, especially me. If you're trying to fly, you're trying to go anywhere, and you're sitting at the lines, and you're sitting at these really long lines, it's pretty frustrating, especially for the people at the TSA that are not getting any money. They're struggling. You cannot afford groceries if you cannot get paid for your job. So this is the accountability part. And this is where you see the back and forth with the politics and why right now we're still waiting for TSA workers to get paid. Now, this is a back and forth, right? Democrats have offered multiple times to fund the TSA, the FEMA, the Coast Guard, separate the situation from the ICE fight and just pay these people. Senate Republicans have blocked those attempts every time. But then when you see on the flip side, when Republicans put the bill up to fund all of DHS, only 37 Democrats voted against it. Only John Fetterman crossed over. So each side blocking the other's versions while pointing fingers. And then you have the wild card, Trump himself. He was presented with a deal to fund everything except ICE enforcement operations. He rejected. Then he went on Truth Social demanding Democrats pass the Save America Act, a voter ID bill that has nothing to do with paying TSA workers. But many people, including many Democrats, believe that you should have a ID to vote. You shouldn't be able to just walk in, point to a name, and now you're voting as that person. You should have some ID. But even the Senate Majority Leader said his own party called that demand not realistic. A top TSA official testified before Congress and said 480 officers have quit since the shutdown started. Wait times are the highest in TSA history, over 4.5 hours at some airports. Workers are sleeping in their cars, selling blood and plasma to afford gas to get to work. A TSA rep went on to CNN today on camera and said that she's skipping meals so her kids can eat. And even her in-laws work for TSA, so there's nobody in the family to borrow from. So the whole thing is a complete mess. So while Democrats and Republicans can argue about whether Iran is a state sponsor of terror, which the answer is yes, obviously it is, but we're having issues with Americans right here, federal employees in this country who cannot feed their families. And both sides need to figure out a solution fast. This cannot continue to go on forever. But what did we learn today? We learned that if you're going to go on national television and debate somebody, you better come prepared. You better be ready to answer some basic questions. Because if you can't say, yes, Iran is a state sponsor of terror, which it is, and it has been for 40 years, then you really have no business sitting in chair or trying to argue foreign policy. And I hope that there is some conclusion to the TSA workers. I mean, at this point, if they're selling their blood and skipping meals just to survive, that's the real story, and they need to figure out exactly how to stop this, how to get to some kind of resolution so people can start working, get paid, and the millions of people who have to travel every day can travel without waiting hours and hours online to get through. But let me know what you guys think about this story in the comments below. And shout out to the sponsor of this video, Private Internet Access. Go to piavpn.com/Hannibal for 83% off with 4 extra months. Check out the link below. Thank you for taking time to watch this video, and I'll see you guys in the next video.